we started seeing maps being drawn up that includes the Urhobo nation as part of the Republic of Biafra. Now, these are maps that have been drawn up by IPOB and Masob and this guy, their latest hero. You get it right there. Now, let me just state this up front. Everyone has a right to agitate for their people. Nobody will sit down and say the Igbos do not have a right to agitate for themselves. The union we have today, the Nigerian union as it is today, the Nigerian project, is not a perfect union. Everybody should strive to correct those imperfections. So I respect their right to self-determination. I respect their right to agitate on behalf of their people. What we will not countenance, is for them, without consulting the Urhobo people, to swear Mutu on their own, include Urhobos as part of their map of the Republic of Biafra. And what even made it all the more insulting to us as Urhobos is that, unlike maybe Anioma, that maybe was part of the Biafran Republic, are you getting it right? Because of I think that stakeholdership and kindredship, with the Urhobos, we don't have that. We were never part of the Republic of Biafra. We are not now. And we do not plan to be part of that. So that's what it's all about. So we're not fighting the Igbo people. We respect their right to agitate. And frankly, if you ask me, this country has been unfair to them. But not just them alone. Even we. You must recall that Nigeria began with 3 regions: the North, the East, the West, and subsequently the Midwest region. Indeed, the Midwest region, which is today Delta and Edo, which became Bendel, that is the only region that was constitutionally created. The others were by fiat. The northern region was by fiat from the colonialists. So too the West, so too the East. But ours was created as a result of referendum by the people in a constitutional manner. So I'm saying this for purpose of history. As we speak right now, the North, which was one region, is now 17 states or 19 states. I think 19 states. It's now 19 states. The West, that was one region, is now 6 states. The East, or Eastern region, that was one region, is now 5 states. While we, Midwest, that was one region, were only 2 states. Now these have implications. And what are the implications? Between Edo and Delta, one region, we only have 6 senators. The North, that was one region, now has 19 times 3, that's 57 senators. You do the math. The West, that was a co-region with us, Midwest, now 6 states times 3 senators, making what? 18 senators. While we, a co-equal region, at that time, we only have 6 senators. So I'm saying this, of course the Igbos have a right to be angry and to be bitter. We too, here, in Bendel or Delta, we also have a right to be bitter. So when people are agitating, there's justification in the agitation, provided 1, don't make it violent, and then 2, consult. You cannot replace one tyranny with another tyranny. We believe that at some point, everyone needs to calm down. We need to sit down and look into the reason for this agitation. We should be asking ourselves this question. This kind of agitation that we have today, did we have these agitations in pre-Ironsi Nigeria? Or these agitations only came about post-Ironsi Nigeria? I say this because this has ramifications. In pre-Ironsi Nigeria, we're running a federal system of government with powers devolved to the regions. Before Ironsi came with his Decree 34, they're now more or less turned the country to a unitary system of government, taking all powers to Abuja. Now, if you look at the last constitutional conference, the CONFAB, that was organized by the Jonathan administration. Most of these issues were addressed there. There are certain things we don't have to accept every recommendation of that conference. And frankly, I've never seen it all. But there are some good recommendations that they've made. The argument people are making is that nobody elected them, and therefore they're not in a position to decide for the country, decide for the people, when those that have the mandate are there. That's we, the elected representatives of the people. And they are right to that extent. So to that extent, I would say, okay, yes, they've made their recommendations, but they didn't have the mandate. So bring the report to those of us who have the mandate. Let us sift through this. The ones that we believe that we add value, that will help address the challenges that we have today, let us take them. The ones that do not address the challenges we have today, we set them aside. But at the end of the day, we have the mandate to look into this. There are some good things in that report. We should look into this. That's the only way we can address some of these challenges. If you ask me today, I have not seen that report, but I like to believe there was recommendation for state creation. There's nothing wrong, for instance, in allowing the Igbos, if nothing else. I know we talk about equality of states, but you can actually make this argument based on equality of regions, or equality of geopolitical zones. You know, let the Igbos have the X number of states that will make them equal, you know, with the other geopolitical zones. Even here in Delta, for instance, if I recall, even the confab recommended the creation of Anioma state. What is wrong with having that state created? Now, the only point I will make is this. The economy of this country right now cannot afford this multiplicity of states. But the moment people are made to understand that yes, you want your states created for you, to the extent that there are administrative structures, no problem. But the funding will not come from you. You cannot create states and sit down and expect Abuja, you know, to be funding them. But if, like we did in the past, you know, when we had the 3 regions, where every state was competing against each other, where some had their peanuts, some had their cocoa, some had their rubber and crude, some had coal. You're getting right. If they not go back, see, there is no state in this country today that does not have one form of natural resource or the other. Every state is blessed. But because people are used to sitting down here, waiting for the end of the month, for FAC meeting to be called, to go to Abuja and collect a paycheck, you know, nobody now wants to explore and exploit the resources they have in their states. So the moment you make the center very, very unattractive, nobody wants to fight to go to Abuja anymore. They rather want to fight to go to Asaba, or go to Benin, or go to Port Harcourt. Those will not be the epicenters right, of the political administration.